Hey guys, welcome to Think Fit's Fit Thinking podcast, vidcast thing we're doing. I have Adam here, one of our fantastic clients. He's absolutely smashed in the last few months. Some of the transformation photos you've shared with us, absolutely incredible. Welcome Adam. Thank you for jumping on.
Thanks Josh. Thanks for having me.
At your time. What we want to do is just find out a little bit about your life before Think Fit. Like, what were you doing, and what was it like for you?
So pretty much for me, I was going to the gym myself. So I was training myself about 3 or 4 times a week. But I was finding it that I did have a plan, a workout plan, but I didn't know how to change it. So I was always doing the same routine every week, to the point where, yes, I was increasing the reps and the weight, but it was still quite, in a way, boring for me. And it just kind of felt like I wasn't really seeing any improvement. And it probably was that I was also training solo. When I've been out in the gyms, most of them are people in pairs, friends, couples. So they normally had someone to kind of motivate them as well, which I didn't really. I would watch people at the gym just to see how they're doing stuff. And that was also another thing as well, going, am I using the machine correctly? I remember the first time I began at the gym years ago, people would come over and go, oh, you need to do it this way. I would say I'm better now, but still, I sometimes don't know if I'm doing something correctly, because yes, it feels great when I'm doing it, but then sometimes if I know I've done it wrong, it's after.
Yeah.
So then I don't know at that time that, oh yes, I'm doing it fine, boom, boom. But then the day after or something like that, 48 hours, then I started to get sore, and I thought, I mustn't have done something wrong. And that was the same. I don't know, I never found out what I did, but I did do something with one of my knees. Either when I was doing a leg press or something like that, I did something or jolted something, and I had to, go to a physio for a couple of weeks, and I couldn't put weight on one of my legs. So for a couple of weeks, and it was probably the worst, I think about 2-3 weeks in my life.
Yeah.
But that was another turning point as well, going, maybe I'm not doing things right.
Maybe you need some help, maybe you need a bit of guidance, which is perfectly, that's like awesome segue into the next sort of question. So it was basically through concern of not doing the right thing, not having the support, and an injury.
Yeah.
And then making that change, what made it different this time? Like when you walked into Think Fit, what made you stick it out? What made you realize that you were going to get results?
Well, I saw the ad on, I think it was on Facebook, and I think Elise gave me a call, and she said, trial it out, commitment, you don't have to pay for the first session. I said, okay, I'll give it a go. It was in Minchinbury at the time. I was at, Plumpton, so it was only a 10-minute drive. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go. And I got in there. Everyone was really welcoming. And at first I didn't know what to do. I just kind of stood in the corner. I didn't understand about the squares on the floor. But yes, everyone was really nice. At least gave me kind of like a buddy to help me as well. But again, even after the session was over, people were coming over to ask about me, like, how you going, what I felt about it. So I really felt that everyone's feedback was listened to, and everyone really wanted to just listen to each other.
That's awesome. It's something you don't get in the gym, hey?
Yeah.
People put their headphones in, you feel like you're getting judged.
Yeah.
It's something we've tried really hard to cultivate. And I'm glad you said that, because it's so hard to convey that to people. Yeah. And I understand how intimidating it can be. And it's good to hear that from you. How much weight did you end up losing? So you jumped on with us, you got super serious about a few things.
Yeah. So look, before joining ThinkFit, I was already, losing weight. So, at my heaviest, I 130 kilos. So that was, about, so this has probably been a year or so in the making. I have had some barriers where I put the weight back on. I've lost 30 kilos and put the 30 kilos back on. That's kind of a lessons learned. Well, it's probably more than learned, but so now I'm down to around, I think the last time I measured was about 75 kilos. So I'm
incredible. That's huge.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with how I'm going. But again, it's also my diet as well. So I look at, like, even when I'm at the grocery shopping, I'm looking at protein intake, calories. I don't just normally just pick things off the shelf. Sometimes I might, if I'm a bit lazy, but I try to look at the nutritional tables and just try and get an understanding of what I'm actually eating, especially at home, that I'm just sitting down all day most of the time, or I'm not doing as many steps as I usually am, or as much physical exercise that I would normally entail, because I don't have the same amount of weight that I used to do at the gym or at the boot camps.
Yeah.
I kind of got to think about that and going, well, if I'm going to eat that, it's going to take even harder to burn off, because I'm not doing much. So that's where I'm trying to change, trying to do that together. And I've noticed, like, my weight has slowly just creeped only a couple of 100 grams over the last couple of weeks, which is, and I think that's just
it's not too bad.
But I can see it, so I'm just trying to get on top of that so it doesn't just go out of control.
And it's good. You've created a standard for your life now. You're like, I want to stick by this. And you're doing just that and reaching out for help. I know you asked Luke about that question. How do you not eat things in the cupboard when you're at home?
Yeah.
Which is a massive obstacle for anyone. Like, even myself, if you don't have that food around, it's so much easier. But then if it happens to be there, it's...
Yeah. And I'm still doing it now. I've kind of already eaten some of the food, or most of all the muesli bars I bought for the week on Saturday, and it's only Wednesday, and I've already eaten them all. So mate, I think I just need to buy less, or, I bought 2 packets of muesli bars, maybe just buy the one. Yeah. But again, I try and aim for let's just say the most nutritional ones I can find. But again, everything has hidden everything. Nothing's really healthy in a way. All those, I guess they're high protein, but they're probably full of other things that,
That's why we aim for the whole food, minimally processed. But so that's some amazing physical results. Your fitness has improved significantly. Well, I'm pretty sure we shouted you out a few times.
Yeah.
Mentally, what have you noticed since, like, dropping the weight and improving your fitness?
So pretty much sleeping. So when I used to train, as in go on the transport every day before work, when I was, at my heavy stages, I would fall asleep a lot in the mornings. And it was, I think most of the time it was because I had sleep apnea, where I would wake up like micro sleeps or micro naps during the night. Just get up without even knowing, like I'd awake and then go back to sleep. And then that kind of just would disturb my sleep. So then I would always wake up tired, and then I would sleep on the train. But during, all this weight loss, I don't think I've ever really slept on the train. I go to bed at the same time. And I kind of get up at the same time as well. And, I feel, normal. Sometimes I feel extra tired on, if it's been a big day, but I'm not feeling tired normally. So that's probably been the biggest kind of change that I've seen, like, mentally, as well as I'm using some of those breathing techniques that they showed us at the last open day. So sometimes I forget their names, but I've got them in my head and I'll just use them. And it's sometimes, if I'm feeling stressed, that's the ones I'll use, and it does help. Because stress is is very big in my life, as in, it's everyone stresses, but sometimes I just stress too much, and it's either work or anything. So I just need to take time to kind of breathe and meditate and just, lower that heart rate down.
And that's perfect. You're taking the lessons on board constantly, and that's why you're seeing such great improvements. In terms of obstacles, when you were going through your big changes, we can say food, but outside of food, maybe, what was your biggest obstacle in changing your lifestyle?
It probably was, biggest obstacle. Yeah. Well, it probably, yeah.
If it's food, we can say food.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, like food is always going to be the main obstacle. But it probably was motivation as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because, at the beginning as well, when I first started going to the gym, I enjoyed it, and I did. But then when I was doing that repetitive workouts, then it kind of got that motivation. I have to go back to the gym again today. Today's one of my training days. It kind of felt more of a task than really like something that I wanted to, even though it's my choice, but I still went. Or sometimes when I didn't feel like it, I'd be like, I'll just do some cardio today. I'll just do some treadmill or do a elliptical machine instead of doing a whole weight training set today. It's just, I kind of got a bit lazy.
Yeah.
And so, that would probably be the second obstacle. Of course, food would be the biggest. And still, I have challenges with food today. I'm not perfect, and I have portion control plates. So I try and kind of eat only what my body needs.
Yeah.
Not what I need, or not what I want to eat. Because the big problem is we all overeat, and we don't know that we eat so much, and then we do the all you can eats, which I still love, which I pretty much can't really do now, because I've just kind of learnt myself
that association with it.
But that's the things, and I try to avoid those high carb foods, because then they make me fuller. It's like I'm filling my stomach with almost wasteful food, where I could put it with nutritional food, like the bread. It's if I fill it with bread and rice, it's like, it's just sitting there, just filling me up.
100%. And in terms of overcoming the motivation part, what was a big turning point in that?
Well, I think the big thing would be the group training like that, because pretty much every session is different to the last, and then that gives me and that's always a motivation, that it's always going to change. There's always something different, as well as the motivation to see people that you haven't seen either maybe from the last week or the last session. There's a lot of people there that I haven't spoken to now for a while, because I haven't seen them, but I will chat to them before the training session. So sometimes I'd get in early, like up to like half an hour early, and I'll just go there and talk to.
Yeah, I usually have a good chat out the front.
And that's what I enjoy, because it's not just about going there, working out, and then just kind of leaving. It's also having those chats, and we talk about friends, family, life. It's great to just kind of talk to someone. It's great, and it's kind of annoying that I can't really do that now. It's because everyone's missing that social interactions. But
I mean, you've been jumping on our COVID social stuff. You and Will are running it for the boys.
It's been great, and I think what you both have been doing, the Zooms and it's been going, great. It's, of course, it's never going to be the same as what it is, as in person, but it's
That lifeline sort of thing.
It's the best and that we can do all together, and it's better than closing down and then we see businesses close down for good, and we don't want that.
I've definitely put too much heart and soul into this, and so has Elise, and so have our members. Like you said, everyone's so accommodating, and I'd be letting the community down if we did that. So I guess saying all that, realizing it for yourself, but prior, when you're at your heaviest, what would you say to yourself then to convince yourself to do something like this, to try and find another person like you, to give them the confidence and the motivation to just sign up and change their life, really?
Yes, look, my thing would be like, if I could talk to myself before, it would have been to not give up. Like, I did give up at times, and that's, where the point where I put that weight back on. Again, my big motivation is just looking at those old photos where I didn't really, at the time, it didn't feel bad. Like, I'd look in the mirror, I didn't really look I just looked normal size for me. But again, everything looked bigger for me because I'm not as tall as everyone else.
Yeah.
And I always thought, even at 130, yes, that's really big, but I always thought, being 100 kilos plus isn't always a bad thing. There's really tall people, football players are, 100 kilos. Again, but they're muscle than fat, but still, it's not like you're just it's not always about, and that's why I just thought, and that's why it didn't really bother me at the time. It was always the problems were when I'd have to go to like special stores to kind of get my clothes, like I don't know what you can call them, like the Mr. Biggs or the Johnny Biggs, those kind of clothes to kind of get to 3-4 XL. Is kind of what I was used to fit into. And then pretty much the turning point from that was getting a blood test, and they were doing my heart pressure, and they told me it was so high that I needed to make a change. So that was pretty much my turning point. So now every year, even at my weight now, I get a blood test, a heart, like an ECG every year, just to make sure that I'm still on track. And since losing that weight, everything's going great. And I've only just recently had my blood test as well, and everything's going good. So this is the best change that I've ever done, and I probably think I will ever have done for my life and myself. And it is and the way that I'm doing it, I shouldn't be able to go backwards. Should only just be moving forward, even if I just stay at the same weight. Yep. Like my goal weight's around the 70 kilo mark. I don't know if I will be able to get to that. It might take time, but I'm still happy with what I am at the moment.
Which is perfect. You created a lifestyle. And once you get to where you are, it's just a lifestyle thing. It's like, all right, what can I do that isn't weight related anymore? How can I enjoy my life so much more? Which you're doing, you're dancing. We just talked about a running group before, so it's probably something you've never done.
Yeah.
And you really unlimited yourself now. So it's going to be super fun for you and interesting to see what you're capable of.
Yeah, because look, I would always like walking out, even at my heaviest, but I always felt embarrassed, walking or even, jogging, or even though I couldn't do it that far, but in public, because I always felt people are just watching you, even though there's no one there, or they say something behind your back, even though they would never say it to you, but I can just know people are looking or saying something. So that's why I started at a gym where normally it's a everyone's like, no one's going to say hopefully that behind you, but so far it's great. Even before the group training, even when I first joined the gym together by myself, people were always there helping me. So that's why I moved to that kind of gym area, not just running around or, jogging.
Headless, yeah. Nah, cool. I guess last question, what does think fit or thinking fit mean to you?
Well, for me, and I probably did touch on it already, it's pretty much just a community of people that all have something to give to each other. We all need help in an area, just because we're our bodies could be different sizes or types. It doesn't mean that we don't need help. So I think that it's just a community, and that's pretty much as well as exercising, but it's also community just to talk to. And even doing the yoga, that's something that I have never really seen in any other gym.
Yeah.
Even the ones that do offer kind of the classes, they normally they normally just do like the pump and the other kind of group classes, but they don't really do any mental training, yoga and things like that, which is great. But look, I've enjoyed it. I think I've been here for about 4 months now, probably 5.
Feels like way more than that, surely.
Yeah, I feel like it is, but yeah, it's going on. Yeah, it's but I'm enjoyed it, so that's why I stuck around, and I do like it. I think it's great setup, and it is the first time that I've really done a group training before.
Yeah.
But it's something that it kind of gets to the point now as well, where now that I've done the group training, it kind of makes the solo training.
Oh, you can't do it.
Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, just before lockdown, I went back to the gym, and I just didn't know what to do, because I'm thinking, what can I do? Because I haven't followed, because I normally have the Trainerizer app, and I used to follow my plan. I'm like, what am I meant to do today? I haven't used the app in months.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so then I just went upstairs and just did cardio. I'm like, okay, I'll just go for a run. No, I just didn't know what to do,
I'll sympathize with you on that one. I went to a gym around the corner, a 24-hour one, for the first time in 3 years, because I do the functional training, and I was just like, wow, there's a sea of machines. I have no idea. I've never seen some of these machines before. And I lived in a gym for 8 years. And it's just not the same. You're not high-fiving anyone. You're not getting like competing with anyone. It's just you and yourself.
Yeah. And it's probably now like, yes, I probably still will go eventually, but it's more like, I don't want the gym to be the primary. Yes, gyms are, potentially for me cheaper, but it doesn't mean it's always the better way. And I'm happy to, to kind of budget more money for a kind of group training because there's other benefits, not just the exercise, the feedback, the coaching.
Yeah.
Because there's no coaching, PT sessions. I remember they were almost $40, $50 a session for half an hour, when I can do as many as I want in a week for a boot camp. So I believe it's, it does work. It works itself out. And I think it's, more efficient and more just doing a group training.
No, that's perfect, Adam. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate time. We appreciate having you involved with everything we do. Good luck with the rest of lockdown. I'll send you that invite for the runners group. Stop recording now, but thanks heaps. See you guys.